Alright, it's been 12 days since the Bitcoin halving where we saw the block reward cut in half for all miners. So I figured let's sit down today and have a look at stuff like the Bitcoin price now after the halving, the network hash rate and how that's doing. And I've also made a quite in-depth spreadsheet with all of the Bitcoin ASIC miners that are currently available that we're gonna have a look at as well, to compare efficiency, value for money, and of course profitability now after the halving. And quickly before we jump into that, I just want to tell you about the giveaway I'm doing for all of you guys to sort of say thank you for, reaching 100,000 subscribers here on the channel. I'm doing this giveaway together with Coin Money Central, and I really hope all of you get a chance to enter in the giveaway. It's completely free to enter, it's worldwide, so you really have no reason for not entering. So I'll put the link to that giveaway down in the pinned comment below this video, and I'm just going to give you a few seconds now to go and open that in a new tab so that you don't forget to enter. Alright? Did you do it? Alright, cool. Now let's jump into the current state of Bitcoin mining, starting with let's look at the Bitcoin price, right? So I have it up on my screen here. This is the Bitcoin price as of, the last, couple of weeks here. You can see or actually about a month, I reckon. The blue line here is where the halving happened. So, we saw a little bit of a dip before the halving, a little bit of a pump after, and, we've seen a little bit of a drop in price since then. Now, I want to say that Bitcoin's price goes all over the place all of the time. I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. You can even see that since this dip about a day ago, it's already starting to recover. I mean, what's Bitcoin's price gonna do in the future? No one can really know because no one can tell the future. But I just want to say, and not financial advice, but we do have this chart here, which looks at the sort of halving event for every time a halving event has happened. And then you just look at price sort of prior and after that event. And then as you can see here, price seems to always tend to go up after the halving. In the following, 4 to 500 days is usually, well, so far where we've seen the top, if you will, after the halving. And we are the red line right now. So we are currently here. The halving has just happened, and yeah, if history were to repeat itself, we're gonna be going up again. Not financial advice, but this is just what history has looked like, right? I also think we should look at Bitcoin's network hash rate, because I think a lot of people expected it to drop off a cliff after the halving, but that hasn't really happened. I guess the halving was about, where was it? Let me find it here. So if anything, it's just kind of been naturally fluctuating. I mean, maybe some of you might argue that what we're seeing here is the start of a drop-off. Maybe. That's kind of, I guess time will tell. Of course, why this is relevant to us miners is because, the lower the network hash rate means more rewards for everyone. And with the rewards having been cut in half because of the halving, any more rewards we can get is good, right? But of course, the bulk of this video is going to be this massive spreadsheet that I've been putting together for you guys. I'm gonna link it down in the video description so that you guys can have a closer look at it if you want. But I think let's just jump right into it, and I'll walk you through what it is and what it does. Basically, I've put all the sort of currently available Bitcoin miners here, and I'm just comparing them. So you can see here, if you are in the market to pick up a Bitcoin miner, then I've put the sort of price that they are here at Coin Money Central, which is my trusted ASIC reseller and the one that I always recommend you guys use. Now, they have provided me a discount code, so if you do want to go and buy a ASIC miner from them, you can find the discount code here. It gives you $125 off roughly, and you can see I've listed all of the prices, as they would be after using that discount code, as well as affiliate links to all of these miners here. So if you're gonna buy a Bitcoin ASIC and you do so through these links, the channel here does get a small commission at no extra cost to you, and I'm really grateful for those of you who do that, as it helps me, be able to keep making free videos like this one. Now, enough chattering, let's just get down into the numbers, right? So as you can see here, I got everything listed here from the brand new Bitmain S21 Pro, which is the big daddy miner right now, right? 234 terahash at 3,510 watts for an efficiency of 15 watts per terahash, but it does come in at a pretty hefty price tag of $23.50 per terahash. So basically, what everything always kind of tends to come down to when buying mining hardware is, where do you fall on the sort of line of, you know, how much do you prioritize value for money, aka, you know, dollar per hash, or how much do you value power efficiency, you know, aka watts per hash? Because usually how these miners are priced are, if they are less power efficient, they tend to be cheaper per hash, and if they are more power efficient, they unfortunately tend to be more expensive per hash. And as you can see here, I'm comparing all of them on those two criteria here. You can see all of them are rated sort of on a watt per terahash and a dollar per terahash scale here. And of course, the darker the green, the better, and the lighter the green, the worse, right? And for those of you who are more looking for like a score, I've done that as well, where it's the exact same result. It's just, instead of, you know, having the actual numbers here, it's just a score between 100 and 0, where 100 is, you know, the best in the spreadsheet, which would be for efficiency, the S21 Pro. So that gets a score of 100, and then 0 is 0, and then all of the other ASICs are scored on a scale according to that. So for worst in terms of efficiency, you have the WhatsMiner M21S, which gets, you know, it uses 62.2 watts per terahash, and that gives it a score of 24.1 in relation to, you know, the Bitmain S21 Pro, which gets a score of 100 in terms of efficiency. And then same for, you know, value for money score, which also again between 0 and 100, where of course the other miner, which scored the worst on efficiency, scores the best on value for money, because you get a lot of hash rate for very cheap buying that miner. And basically what those two scales boil down to for you is kind of, if you're worried about profitability at all, of course, the lower your electricity price is, the more you can sort of prioritize value for money in terms of dollars per hash. And the higher your electricity price is, the more you kind of need to prioritize power efficiency, because otherwise all of your mining profitability will just be eaten up by your power cost. But now the main thing that I wanted to get at when making this spreadsheet was actually these two sections here. So first we're just looking at the current daily mining revenue, aka how much money does this miner make if you were to sell all of the Bitcoin it mines at today's coin price. So you can see that for all of these miners here, with of course the Bitmain S21 Pro making the most with roughly $10.60 right now. And of course this is highly related to, you know, what Bitcoin's price is, and as well as the network hash rate. But what I think you guys might find more interesting is this row here, which is the highest profitable power rate. And what this means is, this is the sort of, if your power price is higher than this miner isn't profitable. And if your power price is lower than this, then the miner is profitable, you know, at the current network hash rate and at the current Bitcoin price. And as you can see here, it isn't looking great. If you are very worried about profitability, then, you know, you better make sure you are under 13 cents per kilowatt hour right now, because yeah, you can see here, even the cheapest one here, right, the M21S, that's not profitable above 3 cents per kilowatt hour right now. And of course with the, you know, the big daddy, the S21 Pro, that's, you gotta be under 13 cents per kilowatt hour still, which I believe is already under the sort of middle average in, you know, American homes. So at home Bitcoin mining right now, not looking super profitable if that is something you're worried about. Of course, you could also be hosting, and then you'll usually get a power rate which is significantly lower than 13 cents per kilowatt hour. It's usually, off the top of my head, I think many hosting facilities have around 8 to 9 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, just a little quick talk about profitability here before we look at the last section, which of course is, what we mean with profitability is basically, do you get more coins through mining than what you would have if you just took the amount of money that you would spend on power and just outright buy the coins for that amount of money. Now, I did talk kind of in depth about this in my previous video, so I'll keep this brief, but in my mind, that is never a fair sort of comparison, because when you're mining, especially if you're in the market for a straight up Bitcoin ASIC miner, you are probably doing that within an LLC or something like that, which means not only is purchasing the miner you can expense that within your LLC and it's a tax write-off and all of those things, but also the power should be an expense, right? A tax write-off. But also not only that, if you're comparing that to buying crypto, you know, you're gonna have to pay yourself out of your LLC, which you're gonna have to pay some sort of income tax usually. You know, not tax advice, not financial advice. It works a little bit different in, you know, different states, different countries, but you're gonna have to take, you know, post-taxed money before you can purchase crypto. So if you're comparing mining and paying that electricity, you know, with pre-taxed money that you can expense within your LLC versus taking money out, taxing that money, and then purchasing crypto for that money, it's not really apples to apples. So that's why I'm a little bit, you know, profitability numbers are a little bit misleading. But anyway, rant over, let's move on. All right, I'm actually recording this bit a few hours later because that rant you just sat through actually inspired me to make this spreadsheet a whole lot better for you guys. So basically what I have added here is the ability for you guys to enter your own scenarios, your own hypothetical scenarios into the spreadsheet and then see how that would affect these miners in terms of profitability and ROI. So what you're able to do now is you can enter your own personal power price, how much you expect the Bitcoin network hash rate to grow each month, and also what you expect to be able to sell your miner for when you are done mining with it. So for example, if you believe you'll be able to sell your miner for half the price you bought it for, you enter, you know, 0.5x like this. If you believe you'll be able to sell the miner for twice what you bought it for, you would put 2 in here and so on. I'm gonna leave it at 0.5x for now. And then you can also enter here how long you are gonna wanna be mining for with this miner. Now, we're all talking, you know, hypothetically here, of course. And you also have these blue fields here that you don't need to touch. They fetch data automatically. So what the current Bitcoin network hash rate is, what the coin price is, and also what the yield in terms of how much Bitcoin you get per terahash per day. Now, what these 4 yellow fields here that you can adjust affect are the results in these 2 sections down here. So the first section here is basically for those of you who are concerned with daily profitability and you do want, you know, your miner to be, you know, quote unquote profitable. I already had that whole rant and, you know, you're very welcome to disagree with my opinion there. We can have different opinions and that's fine. But for those of you who are concerned with daily profitability, basically what these sections here are is what Bitcoin price is needed to be for each of these miners to be profitable at your specified power price here. Now this, as it says here, only takes into account the sort of current situation. So current network hash rate and so on. And it says, you know, what Bitcoin price would be needed for these miners to be profitable for you. What's the lowest Bitcoin price where it would be profitable? So as you can see here with the specified power price of 15 cents per kilowatt hour, if we go with the Bitmain S21 Pro here, Bitcoin's price would need to go back up to around 70,000, which is about a 18% increase from where Bitcoin's price is now in order for this thing to be profitable at your power rate. But if we lower the power rate down here to, let's say, if you're on 10 cents per kilowatt hour, Bitcoin can actually drop further down to about just under 47,000, and this miner would still be profitable. And that's a drop of about 21% from Bitcoin's current price. And if you're at an even cheaper rate, like let's say you're hosting at 8 cents per kilowatt hour, Bitcoin could further drop all the way down to $37,500, and this S21 Pro would still be profitable for you. But let's stick with 15 cents per kilowatt hour here, and let's move on to instead this next section here, which this is the sort of even more advanced section, advanced in terms of, the calculations that I'm doing here. It's still pretty easy to wrap your head around, but this takes everything into account, right? So basically, what this section is here is if you get one of these miners, let's again go with the S21 Pro, and you have your specified power price here, how much you expect the network hash rate to grow each month, how much you expect to be able to sell the miner for, and also how long you will be mining for. Taking all those circumstances into account, this gives you a sort of hypothetical, of course, hypothetical result of what price Bitcoin needs to hit after those 500 days in order for you to, if you sell at that price, you will have completely ROI'd, you know, your whole miner, as well as the power of having ran that miner for 500 days. So basically, if we again take the S21 Pro here as the example, if you buy that now for $5,523.89 and you run that for 500 days and your power price is 15 cents per kilowatt hour, and you expect Bitcoin's network hash rate to grow by 15,000 petahash per month, which that's the sort of average net hash growth from the past 3 years. Then what that means is if after 500 days of mining with this thing at your power price and with this net hash growth and all of that stuff taken into account, if Bitcoin's price at that point is above 122,000 roughly, or about a 2x in terms of coin price from now, then you will have ROI'd this miner. This purchase and running this miner has been a profitable investment for you. So you can see here how these different miners stack up in terms of everything being taken into account like that. For example, the M21S at 15 cents per kilowatt hour and all of these other things taken into account, Bitcoin's price needs to do more than a 6x in terms of coin price, but for the S21 Pro, only a 2x is needed. Now, if we have very, very cheap power, something like 2 cents, we can see that then, things change quite dramatically. And even this, very, relatively speaking, inefficient miner, Bitcoin's price could still stay at basically where it is now, and you would still ROI on this miner after 500 days of mining with it. And that's including the power price and the price to buy the miner and so on. But I don't want to ramble on for too long, because I think those of you who are interested would rather just open the spreadsheet and have a deeper look yourself. So again, link to the giveaway is in the pinned comment. Link to the spreadsheet will be in the video description. Over here will be a video on how anyone can run, full-size ASIC miners like the ones in this spreadsheet at home without any issue of noise, heat, or power. And below that, I'll put a video explaining this giveaway that is still active for a few more days. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.